Ah, damn. All right, so I just ended like an hour-long video um about like, where to go to level as a paladin, weapon progression, all that stupid stuff, blah 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 blah. I think my Hearthstone is literally in Deep Water Tavern, so I can speed this up ever so slightly. But this is something I both wanted to include at the end of that video, but at the same time, I also wanted to make an entirely separate video about this. I made this video a while ago, like back when Hardcore Fresh, not Hardcore Fresh, when Hardcore originally came out. I made this video, but at this point, the video is probably buried so deeply in like my 350 plus videos on this channel that it's worth it to make this video over again. So what the hell is this video going to be about? Well, this video is about using bubble mechanics in dungeon to save your life on classic World of Warcraft hardcore. All right. Bubble mechanics in classic WoW have some interesting features to them. Okay. I'm going to describe the way it works, and then I'm going to showcase it in no uncertain terms. We're going to use a flurry axe here. Yeah, full tier 2 is fine. My trinkets are fine. Everything is fine. Okay, cool. So the way bubble works, and it's different than BoP. BoP works slightly differently. I'll explain why you do this with bubble and not with BoP. So let's say you have like 1,000 points of aggro on a mob, and then you bubble. Okay. Oh, no, we'll give the example. We'll give the example of BoP first. If you blessing a protection on your paladin, aka BoP, and you had 1,000 points of aggro on the mob, while BoP is active, all melee attacking mobs will stop attacking you and go attack the next highest threat target. When spellcasters will continue to cast spells into you. When BoP falls off you, however, the mobs will spin around and start attacking you again. Okay? That's how BoP works. Bubble works differently. Let me take a drink of water here. The way bubble works is when you divine shield yourself, when you bubble yourself, it sets the aggro of your paladin basically to 1. Like all of the threat on all the mobs that you have goes from whatever the hell it was before down to 1. And when bubble falls off, or when you cancel bubble, when you bubble cancel, I'll show, no, we'll be up there and done in 5 minutes. So I press bubble, and then I go up here into my buffs, and I literally cancel my bubble prematurely. All mob aggro will stay at 1 point of aggro until you put an additional point of aggro on them. And then once you put an additional point of aggro on them, you'll get all of your aggro back to what it was before. So with our 1,000 point of aggro example here, what'll happen is if I bubble and then I cancel bubble, all the mobs around me will have exactly 1 point of aggro. But if I do anything like Flash of Light myself, or I attack the mob again, or anything like that, Flash of Light here being the best example because it causes AoE threat. It causes half the amount healed as AoE threat within like a massive yardage around you of something stupid like 80 yards. Blessing of Kings, I think, also causes threat to all the mobs around you within like 80 yards. It's pretty disgusting. 80 to 100 yards or something insane like that. The moment I do anything like that, I get all the threat back plus the additional threat that I just did to that mob. So if I Flash of Lighted myself for like 100 threat, suddenly I would have like 1,100 threat on that mob all of a sudden. And how you can use this to survive in dungeons, I gotta prove that it's the case here really fast, but how you can use that to survive in dungeons, of course, is to bubble cancel Hearth. And you do this in hardcore WoW, right? If you bubble and then cancel your bubble and then start Hearthstoning, the mobs will first need to kill anything else that has aggro on them before they start looking for you. Specifically, they're going to go after the healer, almost without exception. So as long as the healer is still alive, then you're perfectly fine. If you try doing something stupid like bopping the healer and then bubble canceling and hearthing, it won't work because of how the BoP mechanics we just talked about operate. But you can do interesting things like BoP the healer, then bubble yourself, Literally tell everyone to start running. BoP the healer, so you know for a fact the BoP healer is at least going to live for like 10 seconds. Then you can bubble yourself, and you can literally pull the mobs one direction and have your team running for their lives in a completely different direction. The moment the BoP wears off, actually I wouldn't do it that way. It really depends on the positioning of your healer. The moment you bubble, all the mobs are going to go after the healer, right? But then you can just cancel the bubble and then start healing and then start Hearthstoning out like no problem whatsoever. I will attempt to showcase this really fast here. First, let me prove that I'm not talking shit. Okay, cool. So we're going to judge a Crusader over here. We are going to put up our Retribution aura. We are now generating an insane amount of threat on this mob, right? We have all the threat in the world on this mob. Watch what happens if I bubble. Okay, it goes over to him. Watch what happens if I cancel. You'll see that the threat is still on our theoretical healer here, and it's not coming back over to me anytime soon. However, if I like rank 1 Flash of Light myself, watch this fucker spin around and come after me. Boom. Instantaneously, he wants a piece of my ass. Now, no matter what this guy does, he won't be able to get aggro off of me whatsoever. It's just not going to happen. So that's how the bubble mechanics work. You just get all the threat back. If I bop our skeleton pet here, where's my Blessing of Protection? Okay, it's down here for some reason. He's going to come after me. I have 1 point of aggro on him for seemingly no reason. It's social aggro. So he's attacking me. The moment, okay, our skeleton pet died, but you get the idea. Only lasts a minute. Is this max rank consecration? It is. Okay, Seal of Righteousness. We don't use rank 3 anymore, do we? We use rank 8. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's the lag spike I don't like seeing from time to time. But we'll just kill this guy with Seal of Righteousness. Not that big of a deal. Right, but you can use bubble mechanics in Classic WoW Hardcore to really help you live, right? Basically, bubble, the moment you bubble, all the mobs are going to go after the healer. So you just tell everyone to start running. The healer and everyone else will start running for their lives. And then you tank the mobs for as long as possible. And then you bubble yourself. The mobs will spin around and start charging after the healer. Then you just cancel bubble and Hearth. Because in Classic WoW, you cannot bubble Hearth. Right? You can't bubble and then Hearth while bubbled. But you can bubble, then cancel, and then Hearth. And because it won't do any aggro, all the mobs will be chasing the healer until the healer dies. And then they'll be trying to kill anybody else. Yeah. So you can see there with the skeleton pet, we had plenty of time to basically Hearth out if we needed to. Anyways, I'm going to end the video here because I'm trying to keep this video really short and Deus Volt. But yeah, use bubble mechanics to save lives in dungeons. If I'm taking a dungeon, you better believe my survival strategy for me is going to be bubble, swiftness potion, run the hell away from the mobs as far as I can, because I don't know if the healer's going to die like, 5 seconds later or something silly like that. I might as well use the speed potion to get a bunch of distance. Once I get the distance away from the mobs, I'm going to cancel my bubble and immediately start hearthing. And as a paladin, even if you're tanking the dungeon, you should survive 100% of the time. Not even a question. If I'm healing a dungeon, then I can't... I can use bubble mechanics to save my life, but it'll be at the expense of the tank, if that makes any sense. So, in that case, I'll be doing the exact same thing, except I will... It's a different order of operation if I'm healing a dungeon, because I want to Blessing of Protection the tank, causing all the mobs to run after me. I will then Swiftness Potion and run away for as long as I can. It'll be at not as long as I can. Then run away for like, a good 4 to 5 seconds while telling everyone to Hearth out, Hearth out, Hearth out. Then once I bubble, the mobs will will run away from me and go after the tank, because at that point the tank's BoP is probably wearing off. I can even Blessing of Kings him and remove the BoP at any point in time. The moment I remove the BoP from the tank, the mobs are going to spin around and start going after the tank again, which gives me all the time in the world to Hearthstone out, right? So it's different if I'm a healer. I can use BoP to juggle the mobs. If I'm the tank, I'm using bubble to juggle the mobs. If I use bubble, the mobs are going to go after the healer. If I use BoP while I'm healing, the mobs are going to come after me. In both cases, we're using a swiftness potion to get distance, and then we can use the removal of BoP either by us manually or by it just timing out on the tank to basically a Hearthstone out of there. Super, super easy to do. You just want to make sure you get enough distance away from the mobs that you have plenty of time to Hearth out with your speed potion. So yeah, that's how you want to use both BoP and Bubble in hardcore classic World of Warcraft to survive. If you want to roach out, it's far easier for you to roach out and let the healer die, let the tank die. But if you want to be nice about it, you're going to have to use a swiftness potion and run. But yeah, if you don't have swiftness potion available, let them die, save yourself. If you do have swiftness potion available, you might as well be nice about it and try to use the swiftness potion and give them as much time as possible to Hearth out, if that makes any sense. Yeah, anyways, on the video here, and Deus Vault. But yeah, you better believe I'm roaching. That's for sure. But I'll be tanking most of my dungeons, so if shit went, there's no way things are going wrong unless I made them go wrong. So, yeah. Anyways, on the video here, and Deus Vault.